Yo, welcome back to the Ron and E podcast, y'all. It's about that time of the year, man. It's playoff basketball, man. It's playoff
Sure.
basketball. But first, we want to talk about last night, man, and the end of the play-in tournament. Overall, I thought the play-in tournament was pretty good this year, So, I just want to talk about two games last night from it was the Cavs and the Hawks, and it was the Clippers and the Pelicans.
Yep.
So, first, I want to talk about so the first half, when I was watching the first half of the Cavs and Hawks game, Trae Young was struggling. I thought Trae Young was gonna fold. He had like 6 points or something. He was like 3 for 11 from the field. And then that second half, he just flipped the switch. I don't know what it was. I think he had like 30 points or over that, like in the second half alone. So just good win for Trae Young and in the Hawks, especially after losing Clint Capella to that injury, bro. Hope he gets well. And bro, I mean, the Cavs had no answer for Trae Young in the second half. They was switching off of everything. Trae Young would just cook their big, or they'll try to trap him, and Trae Young would just find an open guy and just hit an open three. So I mean, overall, if you're a Cavs fan, man, it's a disappointing season, bro. Just to make it that far and to really have a good, solid roster. And the good thing about it, at least, is that you guys are young, you guys are still talented, you guys will learn, and so hopefully you guys will make the playoffs next year.
Yeah. I wasn't able to watch the first half Cavs game because I was out, but I was able to watch a little bit of the game. So from what I was seeing, yeah, that some parts of the first quarter, I was able to see the whole Atlanta team was just struggling in general. I'm seeing just missed shots, missed open shots, and you just got them playing no defense. And we all know that Trae Young is not noted to be a great defensive player. I think we all know that with him being 5'11", skinny as he is. So I mean, yeah, that first half he was just getting cooked. They were just targeting him. I mean, why wouldn't you? He's not that small or he's not that big. He has no defense. He doesn't want to play defense. But it's that's certain things that other teams in the playoffs that they're gonna face can just adjust to. But yeah, that second half, Trae Young just went off. Trae Young, he showed why, for me at least, that he's definitely a top 10 player in his league. Him with his scoring ability, his passing ability, you can't really ask too much from him right now because he's already giving you he does best. So yeah, I mean, Cavs fans, if I was a Cavs fan, I'd definitely be disappointed because even with Jared Allen being out for that first playing game, that they had a good season all in all. Even though you had injuries with Jared Allen and even Colin Sexton, it definitely hurt you. But injuries are a part of the game. We see with the Lakers and all that type of stuff. But yeah, so but no, the Cavs are definitely heading in the right direction, especially next year. I think next year they're going to be a top 5 seed in the East. So I think all they really need right now is that vet player who can actually play or start. We've seen it happen with the Suns. They got that vet leader in Chris Paul. Probably one of the best candidates in that position, and he already took him to the finals. So now I think if I'm the Cavs, I'm not trading nobody. If anything, see if Laurie has any trade value. You can get any more role players from that. But yeah, I just think if agency, what they need to do is get that vet player who's able to play with Garland, with Mobley, with Allen at the same time. But yeah, it was a pretty good game. It was definitely a good game.
All right, man. So I didn't really catch much of the Clippers game. I caught some of the first half. So what I saw, I didn't really pay too much attention. Once I've heard the news that Paul George was out, I was just okay, it's a done deal. I saw some of the game where the Clippers were actually up by a amount of points. So I don't know. I thought maybe they could pull it off, but in the end, Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum, they did their thing. So, but what's your take on it, man?
Yeah, man. It was a really good game. You know, even though some like one team would be up by 13 or the other team would be up by 12. You know, it was still a pretty close and intense game all in all. Uh, One thing I can definitely say, Clippers choked that game. The Clippers choked that game tremendously. I'm like in awe. You know, I'm thinking back to how they lost to the Nuggets. You know, they blew that 3-1 lead. You know, you're just in awe because it's like wow, you guys are what happened. So I mean, Reggie Jackson and I believe Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris is on. That's the brother, right? But one of Morris twins. They just went off. You know, Reggie had what? Like, I think Reggie had like 25 plus in points, and Marquis had like 27, if I'm not mistaken, and he had a couple good threes. But yeah, the Clippers. You know, I know you're down with Kawhi, you're down with PG, but it's like you can't give up leads like that. You can't give up runs like that. You can't give up a run for a run. Because at one point, like during the game, they were on a 13-0 run. And then once the fourth quarter hit and BI was hitting his shots, then you see Pelicans up on 11-2 run. So you can't give up runs for runs in playoffs, especially in that situation. But like I said, you know, injuries are a part of the game. And I believe even if Paul George and no Kawhi, I believe if Paul George played last night, they definitely could have won that game. I'm not saying it would be they win by double margins, but I definitely believe that they could have won that game with Paul George.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. If Paul George played, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to guarantee a win, but you know, but hey, the Pelicans, they're in. You know, they got a tough task with the Suns in the first round, but that's a great segue to our next topic, man. So,
Yeah,
playoff basketball starts today. We have 4 games today, starting with I think it's the Mavs and Utah.
Jazz.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of just want to break down like our brackets, who we think is going to win the championship. And so, Elijah, I want to start off with you, bro. Like, what's your bracket looking like?
Okay, so let me pull it up. So as of right now, I wasn't. I think I'm able to. Yeah, okay. So as of right now, my current bracket for the West, I'll go with the West first. With the Phoenix and New Orleans, I got Phoenix at 6, Dallas and Utah. I have Utah in 6. That Golden State game and Denver, I also have Denver in 6. And then the Memphis and Timberwolves game, I got that and Memphis in 5. And the East for the first round, I got Miami in 5, Toronto and the 76ers in 6. No, I got Philly in 6. And mind you, I'm at the other way. For Miami and Atlanta, I don't know why it's saved like this, but I have Miami in 5. Yeah. For the Milwaukee and Bulls game, I got Milwaukee in 4. I think that's pretty self-explanatory with the Bulls record against the top seeded teams in the East.
Yeah.
So in the Celtics' next game, I have an upset. I have the Celtics in 7 against the Nets. For the second round in the West, I have Phoenix in 6 over Utah, and I'll also have Memphis in 6 over Denver. For the East second round, I got Philly in 6, and then Milwaukee in 6 as well. For the last rounds in the West, I have Phoenix Suns in 7, and then for the last round in the East between the 76ers and Milwaukee, I got Milwaukee in 6. And then for my NBA champion, I got the Milwaukee Bucks in 5 against the Suns.
Okay, so you got the Bucks. So before I go over my bracket, I want to go over like some of the like first round interesting matchups more in depth, just like to see like where you're thinking, where my thinking is, how we really think, like how the series is going to go and stuff. And so you said that you had an upset. You had Boston over Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So what makes you like feel like the Boston has the capability, which they do, to beat the Nets in a 7-game series?
Yeah, for me, it's all about, who has a better defense. I'm a true believer in defense wins championships. So for me, you know, you already have a defensive player of the year candidate in Marcus Smart, you know, who's able to, I think he's going to, even though he will have his hands full against Kyrie, I think he's fully capable, I believe, getting a couple possessions on him with steals and getting inside his head, even with a player like Kyrie. So for me, you know, it's all about defense. So you also have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, two good wings who I believe, you know, you can try to find a way to have them double team or at least have one shadow KD. So you got that. I'm not saying that KD is going to get checked. I don't think nobody in the East right now, besides maybe Giannis and probably Bam, maybe Bam, can actually check KD, you know, for size compared to size. So yeah, for me, it comes down to the better defense, you know, and even though the Celtics did struggle in the beginning of the season, you know, their improvement from I believe All-Star break is tremendous. So for me, I do got the Celtics in 7 just because defense and they have a good enough offense to keep up, at least try to keep up to the Nets offense as well.
Yeah, for me for that series, that was one of like the series that I struggled with the most.
Mm-hmm.
It really could go either way. We've seen Tatum. I think last year when they matched up, you know, Tatum was going off, but there was no Jaylen Brown.
Exactly.
This year, he's gonna have Jaylen Brown with him. They've been playing really good basketball. They've just been blowing out teams recently. But of course, the biggest hit, losing Robert Williams.
Yeah.
Fortunate, you know, he was like their defensive anchor and stuff like that. But you know, what ultimately the decision for me, you know, it just came down to again why I picked the Nets over the Cavs is who has KD and who doesn't. I know, like I can say that for the entire playoffs because no one else has Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can see Boston. I wanted to pick Boston, but what scares me is just Kevin Durant in the playoffs because we know what he's capable of doing. He's capable of taking over games, and like he's gonna have Kyrie with him. Obviously, like you said, Marcus Smart, definitely a great defender and stuff. Want to have his hands full with him. So we're gonna see how that series goes. But I have Brooklyn in 7.
Okay.
So another one like interesting matchup I wanted to like talk about. We'll have 2 more. We have Golden State versus Denver. You said you had Denver.
Yeah, Denver in 6.
Okay, so what makes you feel like Denver is like better than Golden State, or that they can beat them in 7-game series?
For me, I believe that injuries do kind of play a factor into the series as well. You know, you got Curry, who's been basically out for a couple games because of the ankle injury, that nasty ankle injury. You know, it was unfortunate, you know, but, you know, I believe it's still going to have some play or some part into his play. And you still have Draymond for real. This series, if the Golden State Warriors want to win this series, it really relies on Curry and Draymond. You know, for me, I believe that Draymond has always been the glue, even in the dynasties, the dynasty that Golden State had. You know, he was the glue that kept everything together. So I believe, you know, Draymond plays his best ball. Hey, they might win it in 6 instead of Denver, but you know, even Denver, they're dealing with injuries as well with Jamal Murray. He's going to be out, but either way, you still have the MVP of this league. You know, Joker, even though I kind of disagree, I wouldn't pick him for the MVP. You know, he's more than likely going to win it this year. So, you know, he's projected for me. I think he's one, at least he's definitely a top 5 player in the West right now with the playoff teams. So I just think, you know, Joker, you know, plays like MVP Joker this series, they have a pretty good chance of winning it all in this series.
Okay. So like I picked the Warriors personally, and not just because I want them to win that series, because I do, but like I just feel like they have more talent on that team. I feel like if Curry, it just all depends, you know, if Curry's healthy, ready to go. And I mean, you know, Klay Thompson, he still, you know, he comes and goes because he's, you know, that's just the part of the recovery process.
Yep.
But, you know, sometimes you're going to have Klay come on the ride. You know, Draymond's the glue on the defensive end. I'm pretty sure that he's going to have a couple possessions where he's guarding Joker. You got Jordan Poole coming off the bench. You know, if you can get some type of production out of Andrew Wiggins, You know, he has his games sometimes, you know, he drops 20, 22. If you can get something like that out of him, that'd be wonderful. Jordan Poole, like I said earlier, capable of going off. So I just feel like they have the most talent on their team, and they have, I mean, both teams have experience, but one team has championship experience and the other one doesn't. So
Yeah.
I just feel like I got Golden State, but definitely a series I can go, you know, either way if Jokic plays MVP ball like he's been doing all year.
Okay.
And then last interesting matchup I wanted to point out. I heard news, I'm pretty sure everybody did, that Luka will be missing game 1 of the Utah and Dallas series. So I think you said, who did you have in that series?
I had Utah in 6.
Okay. And so do you see any way that the Mavericks can maybe win this game without Luka, or even just possibly win the series? What do they have to do to win against Utah?
I mean, usually I know game 1 is probably the most, you know, the least important game because series can go either way. You know, if you want to lose a game, you want to be game 1. You know, you don't want it to be game 3 or game 4. So, I don't know. I just think if Utah can actually beat this Dallas team by like double digits, I'm talking about like garbage time with like 3-4 minutes left in the fourth type of beating. You know, I think that's going to take away the Mavericks' soul. You know, the players' morale is definitely going to go down because they're like, dang, like we can't do this without Luka. You know, then that really does affect players' play when they have to see, or when they have to see truths like that, the cold truth like that. You know, some teams are just meant to be successful when their best players playing at their best. So I just think that Luka injury, you know, injuries are playing a big factor in this playoff series, this entire series. You know, you got the Nets with Ben Simmons, you know, even though offensively he's literally a bot, you know, on defense, he's going to give you, he's giving you great defense. You know, in the Golden State Denver game is Curry. In the Phoenix and New Orleans is Zion. 76ers is with a little bit of Harden the way he's been playing. And then with Trey in Atlanta and Miami, you got Clint Capella and John Collins. So it's injuries is a big factor. But going back to the Utah and Dallas, I don't know. It's what does give me hope for the Mavericks is last year going against the Clippers. You know, the performance that Luka had, but at the time, you know, Luka wasn't hurt. So going into the series, so it's for me, it's really hard to defend Dallas winning the series.
Okay, respect. So enough of the going over. Let me give y'all my bracket now.
All right.
So I'm gonna start off with the East. So we have the Miami Heat and the Atlanta Hawks. I took the Miami Heat in 5 games. I mean, we don't know the significance of Clint Capella's injury and stuff like that. John Collins, don't know when he's coming back, if he's going to play. So I just like Miami's defense and just a bunch of, like, their depth. They have so many guys that can just score. You know, with Victor Oladipo off the bench and Tyler Hero, still got Kyle Lowry. You know, he does his thing. Jimmy Butler, bam. I just feel like they have just a lot of depth. So next series is 76ers and the Raptors. I took the 76ers in 6 games. I really like the Raptors as a team, obviously. I think they're playing some really good basketball. I think they can take, you know, 2 games off the Sixers, but obviously Sixers, they have the better players in that series, so it's nothing really the Raptors can do. And then for the Bucks and Chicago Bulls series, I mean, you already said it. You know, the Bulls' record against good teams haven't been good. You know, Lonzo's been out most of the season.
Caruso.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, just give me the Bucks in like 5 or 6. So, but obviously we talked about this earlier, the Boston and Brooklyn series. I just took, you know, Brooklyn in 7 just because it's gonna be a great series. I feel like, you know, but I just feel like, you know, one team has Kevin Durant, the other one doesn't, in my opinion. And then so the first round on the other side, and don't worry, you guys, I will put like pictures of our brackets at the end of the video. And so Phoenix and Pelicans, I'm taking Phoenix in 5 games. With Dallas and Utah, I'm taking Utah in like 6. But that's all depending on how Luka comes back. If they win another, if they win 2 or 3 games, whatever.
Yeah.
But and then Golden State and Denver, I got Golden State like we mentioned earlier, and then Memphis versus Minnesota. I just took Memphis. They're the better team. And so the second round for the East, that would leave Miami versus Philadelphia. This one, I was really contemplating whether to go, but I'm not really a fan of James Harden in the playoffs, in my opinion. I feel like there's going to be games where he's going to just be a ghost on the court because he's done that in the past, which is going to leave Joel by himself against Bam, which is like a really good defender. He's a guy that you thought should be Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it's going to be a really good series, but I just feel like Harden isn't. He may show up and prove me wrong. I'm not saying because he's capable of doing it, but I feel like Harden's going to disappear on Joel, and they're going to probably lose that series in probably like 7 or 6, in my opinion. And then that would leave the Bucks versus Brooklyn. We've seen this matchup before. Kevin Durant damn near almost beat him by himself, which was crazy. But, he's going to have Kyrie with him. You're hoping maybe you get a Ben Simmons. I don't know.
Yeah.
I heard something about a return.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Brooklyn looks like with Ben Simmons. So I can't just put that in my bank. So I'm just going to go with the defending champs and go with the Bucks in 7 games. So, yeah, and then we're going to move on to the West. Also, you have the Suns and Utah. I feel like Utah does this every year. They win a series or 2, and then they end up losing. Yeah. And so pretty soon, Donovan Mitchell got to, I don't know if he's already started complaining or something, but something has to, change, whether it's coaching staff or personnel, because they can't keep going to, the second, third round and just lose.
Yeah.
Because you want to break through eventually, and he's a good player of doing that. But give me Phoenix because they're just the better team. And I take Phoenix in 6 games. And then that will leave Golden State versus Memphis. We seen this in the play-in. Ja went crazy last year. They beat Golden State, but that was only on a 1-game situation. Now this is a 7-game series. I love Memphis as a team too. I think they're really good. They're up on the rise. Bane playing good basketball. Jared Jackson Jr., good defender. They still got Steven Adams at center. This was a tough one to pick for me. I don't know. I ended up going with the team with the experience. I always lean towards the team with experience. And so I just took Golden State in 7 just because of their experience. They've been through these type of situations. Memphis is still kind of young and kind of new to this. You know what I mean? So I just took Golden State, and it's 7 games. And so for my conference finals on both sides, that would leave Phoenix and Golden State and Miami and Milwaukee. So starting off with the Heat and Milwaukee and the Bucks, I got the Bucks. We seen this last year. The Bucks clean, they just destroyed them last year.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a huge believer on Miami, period.
I'm not either.
They just somehow failed this far on my board. But Bucks, they have the best player in that series. Bam's a good defender, but I don't think he's gonna be stopping Giannis.
No.
Jimmy, I think Chris Middleton, Chris Middleton comes and goes too. But
he
has his moments where he takes over games and stuff. So just give me the Bucks. And then for Phoenix and Golden State, I just think that I just feel like Phoenix. Give me Phoenix. They're the better. I feel like they're the better team. They've been playing team basketball. Devin Booker playing great basketball and stuff like that. So just give me Phoenix in 6, man. And so I guess we ended up with the same finals, a rematch. Phoenix in Milwaukee. And I just think that I look back at that last year's series, and Tucker was such a big part of what Milwaukee team last year. Him guarding Devin Booker. He obviously had his gamers go off, and you still have Drew Holiday to put on him. But losing him was definitely big to me, because he was that guy that slowly just go. Your only job is to guard Booker. Just guard him. Hit your corner threes and just play defense. But honestly, I still want to go with the Bucks, because they still have the best player in that series is Giannis. Chris Paul, he's gonna do his thing, I feel like, but Chris Paul with a ring, it just don't sound right to me. But he could do it. I definitely have faith that Phoenix can win. But just give me the Bucks again in 7 games. But yeah, man, what's your thoughts? Anything, any points that you disagreed with? Anything that stood out to you? Anything you agreed with?
Yeah, for me, it's more the Miami Heat making it to the third round. I'm not trying to be labeled as a hater or anything like that. But it's for me, it's I don't know. Last year, we seen Jimmy just flat out played terrible in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, you got a better point guard now with Kyle Lowry, but he also has his playoff moments where he's just a non-factor.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you can't have your star players, especially your starting point guard, have non-factor or just be non-factor in playoff series. For me, it's your best players got to show me. Your best players have to be the best players on the court, no matter who you're going against. So, yeah, it's me. That's really the only thing that's sticking out is Miami Heat making it past the third round. But other than that, the Denver Golden State game or Golden State series, I can go either way. But one thing I am looking forward to, even though I do have them going into the finals, I just hope somehow Phoenix just gets humbled. I really, for me, I think it might happen in that Utah and Phoenix game. But if somehow, some way, Zion just comes back and Josh Hart is hitting his shots, yeah, Larry Nance is dunking on people. You got BI, yeah, you got BI playing like KD, and they beat him in the first round. I'll take that anyway. But yeah, I think one thing that we both can agree on is the fact that there's a possibility we might get a rematch in last year's finals.
Yeah.
But I think if it does happen, I got Milwaukee in 5. I just don't see Phoenix. I don't know. I would say if DeAndre Ayton wasn't basically a taller Andre Drummond, with his listen, what I mean by that is yeah, his stats look good on paper, but he's really so inefficient on the court. He scores and the scoreboard doesn't change. It's he's that for me. Seeing him last year, even going against us in the playoffs, he really was inefficient. But yeah, I got Milwaukee winning it all and Milwaukee in 5 against the Phoenix Suns.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Definitely when I was doing my board and when I started seeing Miami was getting by round by round, I was thinking I don't really believe in Miami either. I'm a guy that I feel like the teams with the most superstars, because this is a superstar driven league. Whoever has the best superstars are going to win. And so I just feel like Miami's one of those teams that they don't have a superstar on their team, but they have a bunch of quality, good basketball players. So overall, they're a good team. And so Harden has to show me something. That's the series where I feel like Miami could lose, is that 76ers series again, but it's just Harden. He comes and goes. He's showing you he's doing it this year in the regular season, where he had games where he disappeared. And so we've seen him do that in the past. So I just need to see Harden. If Harden can beat James Harden, I have no problem. They're going to beat the Miami in whatever 6-7 games. But yeah.
Now I have a question.
Yeah.
Which James Harden do you want Harden to beat? Because there's there's MVP Harden, and then there's Harden. So, like, Harden, right?
Yeah.
Cooked. You know, tour dates, 4 for 12, 3 for 18. Like, and then you have like 12 free throws. So, it for me, it's like, which Harden you gonna get? You gonna get Harden, or you gonna get MVP Harden? MVP Harden gonna give you 35 plus, eight assists, and might get you 4 or 5 boards, even more with the boards. Yeah. So, yeah, that series, where any series with the 76ers relies on James Harden's play.
It does. It definitely does, bro. Like, if they want to win a championship, you need MVP Harden. Like, you can't get any short in it. You need MVP Harden. You need 30, whatever, get 9, 8 rebounds and 8, 7 assists. Like, you need that guy. Like, because Joel can't do it by himself. So that's why I stand on the Sixers as well, bro.
But I do want to leave video off one thing. Playoffs playoffs is more fun to watch when your team isn't because you ain't got nothing to worry about. So
yeah, there is.
For me,
our team's already in it.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? I don't care who wins. I don't want Phoenix to win. I don't want the Celtics to win. And I don't want the Nets to win. So, and I don't want the Heat going past the second round. I don't even want to talk about them in the final. I don't want them making it past the second round. But I say the team that I will be supporting, definitely New Orleans. But since for me, I got them losing in the first round, I'm going to support an Eastern team, and I'm going to be rocking with the 76ers because for me, I would love to see MVP Harden in the playoffs, especially this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But as of right now, team that I really want to make it go far in the playoffs, definitely New Orleans, because I think Brandon Ingram definitely deserves to show why. He's definitely like a top 10 wing.
Yeah.
In the West.
Top 10 wing. I can say that comfortably.
In the West or in the league?
In the league. I can say
he's a top 10. All right. I thought I was going to be stretching with, even with the West. Because, nobody really, I mean, yeah, he was an all-star not too long ago. But I still feel like Brandon Ingram doesn't get the respect he really deserves. Because he put on the show last night. He really did, He had some great possessions where it's like, all right, let's get this rolling. So, yeah, I just want Bi to strive in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't got him going far. Like, I'm losing 5 games. But definitely, like, I mean, when you play in New Orleans in a small market team, it's hard to get recognition. So, yeah, I mean, the teams I got one West and one East team that I want to win. I want Milwaukee to win. I love Giannis, so I wouldn't mind him winning another ring, just strengthening his case to be like a top, 20 player of all time or something. So, and then for the West, I wouldn't mind, go to state, get one more, because they all getting up there in age, but I don't see it, but I think that's about it, man.
Yeah, good little video, but yeah, guys, we're gonna end up there. Leave you guys playoff predictions in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter and Instagram, unofficial Maui for Instagram and Elijah the Strap on Twitter. You got DMV Ron for both his Instagram and Twitter. So, some new news is we're going to actually start making a Twitter account for the Instagram page, try to get more interactive with you guys, put up some polls, some questions, and even ask you guys for some video ideas. So make sure I will be making it soon. It'll probably be at the end of the video. So make sure you guys follow us and yeah, like, subscribe.
All right. Peace, y'all.